Have you ever wondered why you can remember your first day of school, your favorite childhood toy, or even an embarrassing moment from years ago, but you can't remember being a baby? Think about it. You spent your first years discovering the world for the very first time. You saw your parents' faces. You took your very first steps. You spoke your very first words. You laughed. You cried. You learned thousands of things. Yet today, it's all gone. Almost as if those years never happened. How is that possible? Did your brain erase those memories, or were they never saved in the first place? For more than a century, scientists have been trying to answer this question, and what they discovered completely changed our understanding of the human brain. The strange truth is that babies do create memories. In fact, they recognize their parents, remember familiar voices, and even learn from past experiences. So if babies can remember things, why can't adults remember being babies? The answer lies deep inside the developing brain, and it all begins with a mysterious phenomenon called infantile amnesia. In the next part, we'll explore what really happens inside a baby's brain and why your earliest memories seem to disappear forever. To understand why we can't remember being babies, we first need to understand how memories are made. Inside your brain is a tiny seahorse-shaped structure called the hippocampus. Think of it as your brain's memory recorder. Every important moment you experience, your first bike ride, your graduation, or your favorite vacation, is processed here before it becomes a long-term memory. But here's the surprising part. When you're born, this memory recorder isn't fully developed. A baby's brain is growing at an incredible speed. In the first few years of life, millions of new neural connections form every single second. It's one of the fastest periods of brain development you'll ever experience. At the same time, the brain is constantly rewiring itself. New neurons are created, old connections disappear, strong connections are strengthened, while weak ones are removed. Scientists believe this rapid rebuilding may accidentally overwrite or disrupt early memories before they can be stored permanently. Imagine trying to write an important message on a whiteboard, while someone keeps wiping it clean every few seconds. No matter how important the message is, it never stays long enough to become permanent. That's very similar to what may happen inside a baby's developing brain, but here's the twist. Babies do remember things, just not in the same way adults do. A baby can recognize their mother's voice, they know familiar faces, they learn routines, and they can even remember simple experiences for days or weeks. So the brain isn't broken, it's simply using a different kind of memory. The real mystery is, if babies can remember, why do almost all of those memories disappear as we grow older? The answer has less to do with memory and more to do with something every human eventually learns: language. If a baby's brain can store memories, then why can't you remember your own first birthday? The answer may be something you use every single day: language. Think about your favorite memory. Maybe it was your first day at school, a family vacation, or a birthday party. Now ask yourself this: could you remember that moment without words? Scientists believe language acts like a filing system for the brain. When something important happens, your brain doesn't just save the picture, it also saves the story. Who was there? What happened? How did you feel? These details are connected through language, making memories easier to store and retrieve. But babies don't have that ability yet. Before they learn to speak, they experience the world through sights, sounds, smells, and emotions, not through words. They may recognize their mother's face, feel safe in their father's arms, or become excited by a favorite toy, but they can't describe those experiences to themselves. Without a clear story, many of those early memories never become the kind of lasting memories adults can consciously recall. Here's something fascinating. Research shows that children usually begin forming their earliest lifelong memories between the ages of 3 and 4. That's also the time when their language skills improve dramatically. Is that just a coincidence? Many scientists don't think so. They believe language helps transform everyday experiences into memories that can last for decades. But language isn't the whole story. Even after your brain becomes powerful enough to store memories, it can still trick you. In fact, some of your earliest childhood memories may not be real at all. In the next part, we'll uncover the shocking truth about false memories and why your brain sometimes remembers events that never actually happened. Imagine remembering a birthday party, the balloons, the birthday cake, the presents, even the people who were there. Now imagine finding out it never happened. As unbelievable as it sounds, your brain can create memories that feel completely real. These are called false memories. Unlike a camera, the human brain doesn't record every moment perfectly. Instead, it rebuilds memories every time you remember them. Each time you recall an event, tiny details can change. Over the years, those small changes can become an entirely different memory. This is especially common with childhood memories. Think about your earliest memory. Do you actually remember it? Or do you remember the family stories you've heard hundreds of times? Maybe your parents told you about your first birthday. Maybe you've looked at the same photo album again and again. After years of hearing the story, your brain may begin to believe you were there, seeing it with your own eyes. Psychologists have even shown how easy it is to create false memories. In famous experiments, some people became convinced they had experienced events that never actually happened, simply because those events were described to them repeatedly. The human brain isn't trying to lie. It's trying to build the most complete story possible, even if it has to fill in the missing pieces. So when you think you remember being 2 years old, there's a chance you're actually remembering a photograph, a story, or your imagination. But this raises an even bigger question. If our memories can change so easily, can we really trust anything we remember? In the next part, we'll explore what scientists have discovered about memory, identity, and why forgetting may actually help us survive. What if forgetting your earliest memories was never a flaw, but one of the greatest survival features of the human brain? It sounds strange. After all, we usually think that remembering everything would make us smarter, but neuroscience suggests the opposite. Imagine if your brain permanently stored every sound, every face, every cry, every tiny detail from the day you were born. Your mind would quickly become overloaded with information that no longer matters. Instead, the brain constantly decides what is important and what can safely be forgotten. This process helps make room for new knowledge, new skills, and new experiences. In other words, forgetting isn't a bug, it's a feature. Scientists believe that during early childhood, the brain goes through an incredible process called synaptic pruning. Think of it like trimming a tree. Weak or unnecessary connections are removed, while the strongest and most useful ones grow even stronger. Without this process, learning would become slower, and the brain would waste energy storing millions of unimportant details. That's why you don't remember every step you took while learning to walk. You simply learned how to walk. The memory of the event disappeared, but the skill stayed with you for life. The same thing happens with many of your earliest experiences. You may never remember your mother's first smile or the first time someone held your hand, but those moments still helped shape your emotions, your personality, and the person you've become today. So maybe your childhood wasn't erased at all. Maybe it's still with you, just in a different form. And that leads to one final question. If your earliest memories are gone forever, could science ever bring them back? In the final part, we'll explore whether forgotten memories are truly lost or simply hidden deep inside the human brain. So, are your earliest memories gone forever, or are they still hidden somewhere inside your brain? The honest answer is, scientists still don't know for sure. Some researchers believe those memories are permanently lost. As the brain rapidly grows during the first few years of life, many early memory pathways may simply disappear. But other scientists have a different theory. They believe those memories may still exist, locked away so deeply that your adult brain can no longer reach them. Think of it like an old file stored on a damaged hard drive. The information might still be there, but without the right key, you can't open it. This idea has fascinated scientists for decades. In animal studies, researchers have been able to reactivate certain forgotten memories by stimulating specific brain cells. It's an incredible discovery, but when it comes to humans, there is still no proven way to recover genuine memories from infancy. So if someone claims they can unlock your baby memories, be skeptical. There is no scientific evidence that anyone can reliably bring those memories back. But here's the beautiful part. Even if you can't remember your first smile, your first laugh, or the first time your parents held you, those moments still shaped who you are today. They helped build your emotions, your personality, your fears, your ability to trust, and even the way you connect with other people. Your earliest memories may be invisible, but their impact is everywhere. So maybe the greatest mystery isn't why we forget. It's how experiences we can never remember, still help create the person staring back at us in the mirror. The next time you look at a picture of yourself as a baby, remember this. You may not remember that little child, but your brain never forgot what that child taught you.